Now, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the event you have all been waiting for. Tonight, we are here from the CIL Formula Collegiate World Championship round, the Petit Grand Prix. We come to you live from a virtual Hall County, Georgia, in the town of Braselton, just 35 minutes to the northeast of its namesake. Down here tonight in Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, a excellent racetrack, some would even say is the greatest racetrack in the world, definitely in North America. I am your lead caster tonight. My name is Nick Stockner. You know me full well from the Germany Grand Prix. Alongside tonight is my special guest analyst, Matthew Nordberg.
Yep, doing good tonight. Nick, we're in for a fantastic race here at this beautiful track, aren't we?
Indeed we are, buddy. Indeed we are. This is an absolutely stellar racetrack that we have on hand. And there is no one I'd rather cast a race with than my good buddy here, Mr. Nordberg. Now, I, like yourself, am an avid enthusiast of this speedway and know full well its capabilities.
Yeah, for sure. This track is definitely a unique one, as qualifying is well underway here, isn't it, Nick Stockner?
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. We're going to take a ride along now, it looks like, with... That's Clint Haltman. He is stopped on the side of the road. I do believe we do not have him. We do have Mr. Esteban Munoz, or we did. He's also going to stop. If we could hunt... let me see if I could help out hunt down somebody who's on an active lap. I believe we have Diamond on an active lap. If we could get him on the screen. And we do. We have him here heading down into the turn 10A and 10B here. He slides down excellently. Gets through and heads over to Fox Factory Bridge, where we can head on down the hill and start a lap. Here is Alexander Diamond. He is full on the throttle up into gear 6. Look at him go. He downshifts one gear, downshifts two, hits too much curbing, and that is Alexander Diamond going to squander away a qualifying lap. With 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go, that is precious time for the man that currently sits in P12 as he heads up the hill and down into the... And he skips turn 3. That must be just out of frustration, honestly, at this point. Alexander Diamond, what a poor showing. Alan Hong has just now stopped. We have Bradley Skinker. He is also in the pits. It is an interesting scene here this evening. But nevertheless, we hold firm.
I see Jake Cummings here, coming through the 10A, 10B chicane through the Fox Factory Bridge down to finish one more lap. Still about, a couple minutes left in the session to get some lap times in, but I don't think our drivers are too keen on getting any more laps in because they're all pulling into the pits now.
Indeed. It is an excellent showing. We have Diamond now coming through to turn 11, the Fox Factory Bridge, through turn 11, heading on to take now another lap. We're going to ride along with him. He's in gear 6. He dips a little bit into the grass. That's fine. Dips down one gear. He doesn't hit the curb. Now he's going to go up into the attack. Is he going to attack? He downshifts into third gear, heads out of turn 2, now turn 3, heads through turn 4, into the S's. These S's are not called corners. Look at him go. He's sifting through. 3 downshifts into turn 5. A little bit more curbing for my liking. Runs through a lot of curbing there on the offset. This car does not like curbs, Mr. Nordberg. He heads into the most infamous corner in CIL history in turn 6 Road Atlanta before downshifting even more into turn 7. He comes out of turn 7. He's looking straight on. He has to hit the gas fast. He's got to take on all 900 horsepower, the turbocharged inline 4. Right down that backstretch he goes up into 6th gear. The man is with a lot of moment in motion. He takes a lot of braking down here to 10A and 10B. Shallow entry into 10A. Hard exit at turn 10B. Hits the Fox Factory Bridge with excellence. And through turn 11... It looks like it did not register improvement. And that is an unfortunate scenario for Mr. Diamond, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe just a little bit too much curbing and kind of towards the S's section on the front of the track. Maybe cost him a little bit of time. Got a little bit squirrely and loose through there. That really hurt his exit speed on exit there.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Now with just 40 seconds left to go in qualifying, obviously there is pretty much no time left on the clock to get a good lap going, but we do have some results. Muhammad Alif is going to take the pole. In fact, he's so good, he's going to take the pole by 0.6 of a second from Ball State University. Once again, I asked the crowd tonight, where is the state of Ball? Starting alongside him on the outside pole is Lucas Moody, also out of Ball State, and then Cale Davidson in P3, also out of Ball State. Well, now we have Jake Cummings, the challenger to the state of Ball this evening from Wingate University in P4. Esteban Munoz out of Florida International in P5. Philip DeRosier out of Howard Community College in P6, with Bradley Skinker out of, once again, the state of Ball in P7. Athena Leclerc out of St. Clair College in P8. Moving on down the order, Hunter Hedesti out of Clemson University in P9, with Clint Halteman out of UNC Charlotte in P10. Adrian Chubkovic out of St. Clair College in P11, with Alexander Diamond out of Drexel in P12, with Jason Wallet out of Drexel as well in P13. Alan Hong out of St. Clair College in P14, with Aiken Lore out of Howard Community College in P15. Mark Turek out of Pennsylvania College of Technology in P16, with rounding out our field, Mr. Burrow out of Clemson University in P17. The cars are ready. They are angry. They all sit with anticipation. We're looking at the Singaporean slinger himself, Mr. R. Muhammad Alif. That car is looking excellent, as it usually does this evening. The very similar liveried cars between him and Mr. Moody sitting there in P2, with Cale Davidson in P3, looming in that silver bullet, if you will. They're sitting now, they're waiting with anticipation. This is one thing about this, is we don't really know what lights are, but we can tell you when the engines will rev. But Mr. Nordberg, if you had to pick a driver tonight, who you pick?
Well, I'd be a fool to not pick our Muhammad Alif, but I think we're about to go green here.
Indeed we are. I'll pick him with you. The engines are revved. The cars are ready and go, go, go. They're going. One did not get going. Who did not get going? Car spinning. That's Hunter Destiny. He's in the wall already. My goodness me. I think it's Alan Hong. It doesn't really matter. Here comes the car in the grass. We got Cale Davidson up there in P2. We got Muhammad Alif in the lead. Lucas Moody down to P3. I don't know who wrecked. I don't know who spun. If he could get a replay, that'd be nice. It was Athena Leclerc and Hunter Destiny, and it looks like Philip DeRosier. He's the one who stalled. It does not matter. Our Muhammad Alif is ahead in the lead here at a lap 1 of 30 in the first race of the evening. We have Jake Cummings down there, and we got 3 cars with damage. It does not matter. We're back up here with Jake Cummings at P4. He is now coming through turn 7. He downshifts excellently. He's now back on the gas. He's now looking to try and challenge Lucas Moody. We're going to take a look back at Esteban Munoz. That car does not look like it has damage. He is in P10 right now. He's in the last points paying position. Andrew Burrell sitting behind him at P11. We got our Muhammad Alif right now. He is in the lead with a 0.3 of a second advantage, now 0.4 of a second over Cale Davidson. But our Esteban Munoz coming down through turn 10A and B, heading right up the hill. He looks to aim through Fox Factory Bridge with excellence. Look at him go. Turn 11. He's got a little bit of pace. Let's ride alongside with him if we can. He's looking to go inside here. Is he looking to go inside? We're looking at the back wing. Looking at the front wing. He's alongside. He died in the corner. That's not a passing zone in these cars, but he made it happen with excellence and prestige, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, great move into turn 1 with a great exit out of the last corner. Really sets you up nicely. You can't really hang it around the outside there. We saw that at the last year's Petit Le Mans. You see a car off in the back there. That's one of the Drexel University cars. I believe that was Diamond hitting the grass, but he kept it underneath him.
Indeed it was. We're looking at Hunter Adesti and Dean Leclerc there. Another car got squirrely. That looks to be, I believe it's Adrian Tubakovic. It does not matter. That's Jason Wallet now. Let's ride alongside with him. He's going to look to take along Adrian Tubakovic. He's going to head down to one of the actual traditional passing zones here at Michelin Raceway. He's alongside. Is it going to be last in the late breakers? We're looking at the 10A and 10B. And no, Wallet decides he wants to be safe. He doesn't. And he forces Tubakovic into an overturn. And Adrian joins dangerously. That's looking for a penalty there from Mr. Alex Hallinar. But look at that go. That's Adrian Tubakovic. He outbrakes himself, gets forced into a mistake, and he loses 10 position to go. Stefan Munoz with another move into turn one. The man is making a move that should be seen in sports cars and open wheelers. But the man has momentum, and he has moment and emotion, if you will. Lap 3 already. The man's made up 4 places. I don't know how he's done it, but he's simply done it with class and precision. We're looking up there at P6 now. That's Jason Wallet. He's leading this train. Self-proclaimed titan of the sport. Clint Halterman down there in P9. And Andrew Burrell now in the fight for his life with Adrian Tubakovic. Adrian Tubacovic's going to ride alongside him now. No, he's going to look to the inside. No. Burrell gets out ahead. We're going to ride along with his tail wing here. We're going to see if Tubakovic has an answer for him. I do not know if he does. He's definitely going to get a lot of draft here. He's looking on down. Oh, Tubakovic turns on the overtake. Does he have a position here? Is he going to be last in the late breakers? No, he does not. He decides to give Burrell this time round. That's a good lad there. Good lad, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, we could see how Burrell used that overtake to kind of get ahead. We saw that flashing light on the front of the roll hoop. That meant he had overtake active and was using it to defend. Oh, Diamond goes very wide into turn 1 there. He's going to give up a position to Clint Halterman out of turn 1 due to the mistake. Clint Halterman, we saw him on the grass a little bit earlier, recovering nicely, currently in 8th for UNC Charlotte.
Indeed he is. Mr. Halterman, the newly signed OWR driver, currently sitting in P8. The man has a lot of moment in motion right now, but we are looking alongside Adrian Tubakovic. He is in P11. Now we're going to ride alongside his cockpit. We're going to ride along this entire backstretch with him here because we want to see if he's got another move planned. He does not have overtake available. He is charging it, but is the man who was ballsy enough to outbrake himself in a defensive move going to outbrake Mr. Burrell here. He looks to the inside. He peeks to the inside. He does not take the braking maneuver. He's now going to hit some curves here. Going to hit a lot of curves. He's going to head out of 10B over to Fox Factory Bridge into turn. Oh, he snapped it. What excellent car control from Mr. Adrian Tubakovic. The man controlled that car with a lot of grace as he's able to keep that car straight and continue to attack Mr. Burrell there, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you see a moment like that in these open-wheeled cars, a lot of high downforce. It's one of those moments you expect a car to be in the wall, but great job from Tubakovic there to keep the car underneath him, and now he's right back. Oh, a spin from Burrell! Coming out of the Clemson University car in the barrier hard.
Indeed he was. He just spun. Is there a way to get a replay on him? We will try to find it. He has pitted. He's decided to pit it now. And also, Oh, that is painful. That is absolutely painful. But look at it. He took too much curb, accelerated on the curb. That's just an unfortunate situation there for the Clemson University driver. Both Clemson University cars out within 6 laps of the first race. That has to sting for that university. An excellent team out in their home Grand Prix. This a horrible turn of events for the first race. We're looking alongside Jason Wallet here. He is in P8, chasing down Mr. Halterman in P7. He rides through the S's deep. He's looking very clean, very calculated, very precise, if you will. Something that a titan of the sport would tell you to do. He's now going to take it down the side stretch. He has an attack here from his teammate, Mr. Alexander Diamond. Look at him move through the field here with a little bit of moment in motion. He takes it out of turn 7 there. Hits it a little bit too much. That is an absolute disaster class move there from Mr. Diamond. At least front wing damage, probably front crash structure damage, and I'm going to assume wheel damage because he can't even keep the car straight, Mr. Nordberg.
No, we've seen it twice now in a couple of laps here. Just too much curb from these really stiff Super Formula cars. all that horsepower going down on a surface that's not quite as grippy as the tarmac, leading to these cars spinning out, and we've seen a couple cars now spin out from the same exact mistake.
Indeed, indeed. Now we're going to ride alongside Cale Davidson once again with the Hi Mom on the roll hoop. Hello, Mrs. Davidson. How are you doing this evening? We run through turn 7 here. He is chasing Muhammad Alif now. He's actually keeping within pace of him tonight. It is a little bit different because Muhammad Alif usually by now is at least a couple seconds ahead. But Mr. Davidson giving him what for? Good show, lad. He's already up in the P2. I believe he was not using the overtake. In fact, he's charging it back right now. That's how he was probably able to get so close. He's sitting right now just 7/10 behind Muhammad Alif. As you can see right there on the dashboard, that blinking purple light on the dashboard of the car indicates that he is charging his overtake, which activates a 30 extra horsepower in these engines for these cars to use in order to get just that little bit faster, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, it's super important to figure out how you're going to use that overtake over the course of the race. You can have 200 total seconds over the course of the race, but every time you use it and you turn it off, you have to wait about 100 seconds before you can use it again. So it's important to keep that push to pass conserved, and see Muhammad Alif and Cale Davidson both on the button right now with that flash and roll hoop, both using it to make up a little bit of speed down this long back stretch down towards the chicane.
Indeed, indeed. A very interesting decision from Mr. Alif. He looks to be maybe a tad bit threatened by Cale Davidson this evening. The fact that he both elected to use overtake at the same time, it did work out in Alif's favor. He's now up to a 1.2 second lead over Mr. Davidson here, with Luke Smoody, the other Ball State car, sitting in third. Jake Cummings right now with the alumni victory for the race, or in the alumni leading position in race 1 right now. He's sitting in P4 as he is looking to also take P4 in the overall. He's the only car to get within the wall of ball that starts with P5, Mr. Bradley Skinker. We run now with Muhammad Alif. You can see he is charging that overtake. He's coming out of turn 7 now. He's going to turn on the accelerator and get on down the straightaway, the very long back straight at Road Atlanta. You know, when it comes to nighttime down here, Mr. Nordberg, you and I have experienced it both. This is an excellent place to watch cars flash through the nighttime. As he heads on down into turn 10A and 10B and heading over to Fox Factory Bridge, Muhammad Alif is looking to confirm have leading the first third of this first race.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty hectic first 7-8 laps, but now I think our drivers have settled in a little bit. Our focus on conserving some tires, figuring out how they want to run the fuel and the push-to-pass strategy over the course of the race. A couple battles still close on track right now, the closest of them being Adrian Tubakovic trying to hunt down Aiken Lamar.
Indeed, indeed. Now, if I am Mr. Tubakovic, I have to realize the top 10 in the first race get inverted for race 2. He is currently sitting in the pole position, if you will, for the second race. Now, I understand hunting down points as much as an X-Man. I, just like them, hunt for my own championships. But you have to think about this. Would you take the extra point, or would you take pole position for race 2? It is a very interesting proposition, one that I myself in my former Formula Collegiate racing career had to settle with often, because I wasn't good enough to win, but I sure was good enough to typically finish 10th. But here we are tonight. Tubakovic now is going to chase down, that is Aiken Lamar. He is definitely within slipstream area. They both have turned on that overtake button. An interesting decision to turn on in the middle of the straightaway, that's for certain. I would have turned it on right outside of turn 7. But as they get through 10A and 10B, here is Tubakovic. He hits the Fox Factory Bridge with precision. Now into turn 11, down the hill. Doesn't take any curbing to my liking. And here we go. He gets through the lap, and he's turned off the overtake, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, well, you have a limited supply of that overtake. We're only on lap 11 of 30, so still plenty of time in this race. As it looks like Lamar went a little bit wide there in turn 3, but collected it nicely and pulled a little bit of a gap through these S's over Tubakovic. Obviously, pretty short lap here at Road Atlanta. Only about a minute, 10 seconds, give or take, depending on how much fuel you're saving. But right now, Tubakovic really struggling to get underneath that rear wing. Maybe a little bit of that dirty air impacting his performance through those high-speed S's in the first half of the track. But obviously, Muhammad Ali from the front of the field is lapping pretty fast right now. We might see lap traffic come into play a little bit later. Obviously, that's a ways later, though, as we still have probably at least 10 or 15 laps before we even see the leaders get to the back of the field.
Indeed, indeed. We're still riding alongside now with Adrian Tubakovic. An interesting note for the evening, we're down to just 12 cars on track. Cars 13 through 17 have all elected to end their evening, at least for race 1, and they're sitting in the pits repairing damage that either is not repairable, in the case of Andrew Burrow, or is repairable like Alexander Diamond. It's just not really the best decision to go out there and waste physical effort and continue the race. P13 is where he'll reside, and that is okay with him. We look at Adrian Tubakovic again. He's running through. That looks to be Alan Hong. Alan Hong could be in a mood for a retirement. I do not understand why he is pitting. This race does not require a pit stop. He now, I believe he is coming in to retire. My information sources are telling me that Alan Hong is probably in retirement. He is changing tires, which is not the recommended strategy, but my sources are indicating that he is looking to retire, or my sources are incorrect. Mr. Hong is doing a very interesting strategy of pitting and continuing the race. That is very interesting indeed. We come now to Aiken Lamar in P9. He has definitely now pulled away more from Mr. Tubakovic. Alan Hong gives way to his teammate, and we run through the S's now, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing to note about these Super Formula pit stops, while we have a little bit of a lull in the action right here, while it's not modeled in iRacing, have you ever seen a Super Formula pit stop? They have an automatic front jack that actually they just hit the front jack and it instantly jacks them straight up. So there's no need for a front jackman. Fun fact of the day for you. If you haven't seen a Super Formula pit stop and you're watching at home, folks, go look up a Super Formula pit stop because it's insane. But Tubakovic and Aiken Lamar both on the overtake button now, heading down to the chicane.
Indeed, indeed. We look through now. We have Adrian Tubakovic in P10. It is getting to that point in the race where the cars are a little bit strung out, if you will. It's hard to find those moments where we're side by side. I'd like to point out some drivers this evening who are probably having better runs than you would expect. The first one that comes to mind is the car that's sitting in P9, Mr. Aiken Lamar. Aiken Lamar, his history in the CIL, if you will, is rather new. He does not have a lot of seasons under his belt. In fact, this is just his second season. His last season, season 9, was his rookie year. In his rookie year, it was marred with a lot of just incidents that were not his fault, but he was collected in, and just overall underperformance for his expectation. This season has been a sort of resurgence there for the 94 car at Howard Community College. He is showing that tonight with a points-paying run right now in P9, and he has done so this season with grace and with determination that he wants to collect more points on the season, and he has done so. And to a lot of the fans out there, they will be thinking this season that the season's already run away with and done. Our Muhammad Ali is going to win the championship, and to be quite frank, they're correct. But to everyone else, second through the rest of the ladder is to play for, and the top 10 points positions do earn prize money at the end of the year. So there is stuff to play for. You can't just simply give up because you can't win all the time, because let's just face it, we're all not like our Muhammad Ali out here. We all can't just simply continue to run 102s and 101s here at Road Atlanta like it's nobody's business. But he is running through P9. Another driver I'd like to point out for a good run is that Mr. Tubakovic over there in P10. You know, once again, it's just like Aiken Lamar. In fact, Adrian Tubakovic in his history in the CIL. Last season, got multiple rounds of what we like to call unsolicited driving advice for just recommendations of how to improve. And he has most certainly taken these recommendations as he has found ways of... never mind. Bradley Skinker is around. He has wing damage. He has lost multiple positions. He was in P5. He's now down in at least P8. You see the wing damage there. It is to the left front. I do not know what happened to him. If we could get a replay, we most certainly do have one. And it was another incident similar to that of Mr. Burrow. He gets out of the turn 5 curb and just simply uses too much throttle there on that uneven surface there, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, another one bites the dust. These curbs here at Road Atlanta are absolutely treacherous for these super stiff super formula cars. So honestly, expect maybe another driver or two to spin in a similar manner, especially coming out of the S's. We see where we're cutting the corner and taking as much curb as possible, and maybe a prototype or a GT car is advantageous, which is where some of these drivers might have driven on this track before in those types of cars. Might be a bit of a habit for them to take that much curb, and in these super formula cars, it's just biting them in the tail.
Indeed, indeed. It seems to be a recurring theme for these cars, is just the curbs are not your friend. We ride alongside now with Mr. Clint Halteman. He has definitely taken advantage of some cars' misfortune this evening, which is fortunate for him. He currently sits in P6. He's hunting down Mr. Munoz in P5. It is excellent. I recall back to my German Grand Prix cast, and I ride alongside with Mr. Halteman as we watched him hunt down a Mr. Ben Fiore to no avail, as he was last of the late breakers, but outbraked himself and spun. I was disappointed in more or less, and never mind, more action as I dialogue. Mr. Halteman with the corner cut. There has to be a penalty that's associated with that. I'm sure he's got a slowdown on his screen. As you can see now, he's definitely off the pace, losing gap there to Mr. Munoz. I should just stop monologuing, Mr. Nordberg.
Well, you mentioned Munoz's name, and then he went off the track about 2 corners ahead of Halterman. So maybe you just need to calm down, get the voodoo or whatever curse you're putting on these drivers out of your system, because we don't need any more of it.
I tend to agree with you. That is just an absolute travesty for me to continue to call these people home. And and Munoz touches the dirt again. If he's not careful, he will spin. But, you know, plenty of cars tonight, plenty of mistakes to be made. Very long race. And once again, he makes another mistake. Mr. Munoz, man, you have a car chasing you down. Hounding you like a hound dog there, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the second we tune to these two drivers here that they start making mistakes. So I think it's a combination of Munoz being under pressure from Halterman and us giving Halterman the commentator's curse. But that gap was at about 1.5 seconds a lap ago, maybe 2 laps ago. Now it is under 0.6 of a second. The gap 0.6 and closing down this straightaway. No push to pass, no overtake button yet from either of these two drivers. But I'm sure it's only a matter of time until these drivers start to get really aggressive with one another.
Most certainly. We look now at Esteban Munoz. He's crawling through, and we just simply have to admire his tenacity. He currently sits still in P5 with Mr. Halteman less than a second away. He is snipping through. Look at this camera angle. I mean, that's an excellent angle to look at if you're me, but I don't see a front wing right now on Mr. Munoz. What happened to it is my question. Are you seeing the same thing there, Mr. Nordberg?
Yeah, I am. I'm not seeing anything from the stewards about front wings or something, so maybe he had a little bit of damage earlier and that front wing has kind of wiggled itself off the car. We'll have to go back and see what possibly could have caused that front wing to fall off, because now it is completely off and he's dropping like a stone right now.
Indeed, indeed. It is something to note. Do we have a replay of what happened? I can't seem to find any indication of why he would lose his front wing, but that is definitely an interesting sight to see. He's lost a position also to Jason Wallet. I mean, if I'm Munoz and he is now going to pit, and oh, that is what happened. Oh
This
no,
is from the
that
start
was
of the
the
race. This is when he might have picked up damage, but I don't see any damage in that front wing right now.
I definitely don't see any damage there. That wing looks pretty symmetrical to me right there.
Looks like Mark
But
Turk just crashed, though.
did he? Because he did. He spun it around, and look at him go now. Munoz has actually fallen all the way down to P10.
He's in the pits.
He is in the pits. He has replaced the front wing. The man is now fully repaired. He sits in P10, and luckily or unluckily for him, it depends on who you want to ask, this now means he will have the pole for race 2, and Mr. Munoz is most certainly not a man that is easy to pass. I definitely can predict that Mr. Munoz will have a better race 2 now because he will have the clean air to start.
Yeah, for sure. We're still trying to figure out what happened to Munoz's wing. Going back here, we saw Bradley Skinker crash earlier. At the time, Esteban Munoz made a pass on his way past the scene of the accident. Still, no damage in that front wing yet. So this was, I believe, lap 16. He had no damage in that front wing.
There's an absolute strange turn of events where we're just talking about the man just driving through the lane, and all of a sudden he has no front wing. I really am stumped, but now we're riding alongside Jason Wallet. Is he going right along with his cockpit here? Let's take a look and see what the man's going to make in terms of decisions right from his cockpit. He gets out of the corner there, turn 7. He's riding along now down the back straight. He cuts through the Cub corner cut there. He gets on down the little side straight here. Now he's looking in now. Does he brake late? He does not. He brakes just in time. And he's going to get out of turn A and 10A and 10B here, up through the hill, over Fox Factory Bridge into turn 11. Mr. Halterman is now going to have to defend for a P5 finish. And he definitely doesn't need to worry about attacking. He's got 12 seconds to go to get to Jake Cummings. But the man is on a high defense. He takes a lot of curve for my liking there in turn 3. But he's going to ride on down through the S's now. Now, Jason Wallet is experiencing a lot of outwash. That car has a lot of downforce. It has a lot of outwash. He's definitely experiencing a lot of push, a lot of tightness feeling. He has to try to find a way to cut through that air. If I am Jason Wallet here...
Oh, spin!
Mr. Halterman! I'm cursing anyway! Put me on the Muhammad Leaf screen! Maybe that'll change something! But good Lord, man! Everybody, we look at the spins and spins and spins. It's absolutely insanity down here, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, these drivers are finding this track very difficult. Clint Halterman doing a little bit of a drift there, coming onto the straightaway, and it's not typically the fastest way to get around here at Road Atlanta unless you're in a drift car. So, big mistake from him. That's going to cost him a spot, and Jason Wallet is going to gladly take that position away.
Indeed, he is. If I am Clint Halterman right now, I wouldn't be, cursing the world. All it did was he did lose a position, and that's okay. But he is okay. He's still running in P6. We look back to Mr. Esteban Munoz. He is catching Adrian Tubakovic in P10, just ever so slightly, by around the tune of about a tenth or so a lap. It's not enough to catch him outright, as Mr. Tubakovic is the last car on the lead lap. Our Muhammad Leaf is catching him. But you look through that, I mean, if I'm Munoz right now, I am not really in the game to take the extra point, man. Take the reverse grid pole and just set sail in race 2. That race is what really does matter for him.
Yeah,
come through the corners here.
Yeah, I was going to say, no point in just making the situation worse than it already is. Take your 1 point in that P10 take your reverse grid pole, because we saw the chaos that ensued in the start of this first race. The second race typically is a lot more chaotic off the start, so if you can kind of stay ahead of all the mess behind you, then definitely take that 1 point and take the feeling of knowing you're going to be safe into turn 1 on race 2 as well.
Oh, we have more incident on hand. Clint Halterman has lost another position. He is now down in the P7. We need to see a replay if we can, because it looked like he dumped it. As we look now to Bradley Skinker, who's in P7. Oh, Halterman dumped it good. He dumped it good on turn 6. Turn 3. Oh no, he missed turn 3. He missed turn 3 entirely, cut some grass, ditched the landscaping crew a favor, and spun it completely around. The man is now sitting in P7. He has a comfortable gap to P8, but losing positions left and right there, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, and he's honestly lucky that he didn't back into the wall there, because he was so close to getting that rear wing into the wall. You see the overtake on now. He's going to try to catch back up to Bradley Skinker, but yeah, I mean, he should be counting his lucky stars right now that he is still in this race with no damage.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. We ride alongside with Clint Halterman. He's running through the S's now. He's made a few mistakes. He's probably, he's kicking himself a little bit. He's lost 4 total points tonight. He was in P5. That's 10 points. Then he was in P6. That's 8 points. Then he's in P7. That's only worth 6 points. The man has lost 4 points and has lost any chance, really, of taking the alumni win away from Mr. Jake Cummings, which is unfortunate for him. That's 7 lost points there to him in that title battle. But now you look down the back straight here. Skinker is close to him with only 2.4 seconds of gap. But it is an interesting thing to note that, as we were speaking before about Mr. Munoz catching Mr. Tubakovic, it's still happening. He's down to just 1.3 seconds. Now, Esteban, buddy, I understand that you want to try to find your best position possible, but think about just the fact that you are throwing away a reverse grid pole for the glory of 1 extra position. Oh my goodness! He just snapped it there. I mean, great car control, but he's throwing it away, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Munoz might be thinking to himself right now, he's going to have a good chance off the line in P2 to maybe take the lead into turn 1 off the second start. He knows he's catching Adrian Tubakovic right now, so he's thinking to himself, I'm catching him now. I can catch him in the second race. I can take my P9 in race 1 and then start P2 and maybe be P1 in a turn 1 in the second race. He's going to try to have his cake and eat it too here as he, big mistake out of Tubakovic there as he goes wide, entering the long backstretch. That's going to give Munoz the position scot-free, and he's off into the distance.
Yeah, you call that probably the easiest work in the book. When you force your competitor into a mistake, that's the easiest position that you can gain. Mr. Tubakovic now is in the reverse grid pole position in P10, with Esteban Munoz sitting in P9. Now, Mark Turek is not really anywhere close to taking the reverse grid pole away from Mr. Tubakovic. He has 25 seconds to gain, and while he is gaining a slight amount of time, about a tenth a lap, it's not going to be enough with just 2 laps to go. The gaps are wide for pretty much everywhere except Tubakovic to Munoz, which is increasing, and Halterman to Skinker, which is also slightly decreasing, but it won't be enough. So as we fall back now to Mr. R. Muhammad Alif as he sits on track, let's find him real fast. We're going to have to walk him home on his last lap of race 1 as he has just passed now Aiken Lamar. He has lapped the 8th car by position. Only the first 7 cars are going to finish on the lead lap, indicative of his days to his hero, Mr. Hamilton, in Mercedes equipment in Formula 1. He's using the overtake now. He is going for a glory lap. Let's ride alongside him here as we go through a lap of Road Atlanta with Mr. R. Muhammad Alif. He rides through turn 1 here. He's still got the overtake on. He's going to have overtake on for the whole lap. Cuts through turn 3, gets out of it fast in turn 4. Now on to the S's here. Not taking a little bit of curbing there, but not much. Rides right over the curb and keeps it straight. He is now going to head down the little side stretch in the most infamous corner in CIL history. He's Road Atlanta, turn 6. Heads on up the light little short chute into turn 7. Comes out of the corner, little bit of oversteer, doesn't really matter. The man is calm and calculated. He heads down the back stretch now, ready to take another win on his march to the absolute masterclass of a season. He did not race last week through the spring break. He is back again through 10A and 10B down the Fox Factory Bridge. His overtake may be over, but his win streak is not. Muhammad Alif with a race 1 victory in the Petit Grand Prix, with Cale Davidson right behind to come home in P2.
Yeah, great race from Muhammad Alif, setting the fastest lap of the race right there at the very end with a 103.006 as Luke Smoody finally crosses the line in third for Ball State. It's going to be a Ball State lockout on the podium.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. The wall of ball has taken the podium. Jake Cummings will be given the... he's trying to get Bradley Skinker. Does he have it coming out of the bridge? Does he have enough? Will he look to the inside? He looks to the inside. He looks to the outside. Drag race! And no, that's Skinker. Skinker will take P6. That was intense. And we apologize for not giving that to you. That was, oh boy, that was intense. We're going to try to see if we can bring Mr. R. Muhammad Alif in for an interview for winning race 1. What a race so far. It is absolutely just what a race so far. That was an interesting turn of events there, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, that battle between Skinker and Halterman really developed over that last lap. The gap as they crossed the line to start the last lap was like a second and a half or 2 seconds at least. And I guess there must have been a mistake from Halterman or a mistake from Skinker at some point in that lap that really allowed Halterman to close up to within a couple tenths and make the dive down into the chicane, but couldn't finish the move off in the end.
Indeed, indeed, it is a excellent race. We'll go through the results of race 1 with you here. As R. Muhammad Alif won race 1, he finishes first to Cale Davidson in P2, with Lucas Moody coming home in P3 to round out the podium for race 1. Jake Cummings sets in P4 out of Wingate University, with Jason Wallet finishing P5 out of Drexel, with Bradley Skinker in P6, Clint Holtzman in P7, Aiken Lamar in P8, Esteban Munoz in P9, and Adrian Tubakovic, who will have the reverse grid pole, will finish 10th in race 1. Alan Hall, and now through the non-point scores, Mark Turek in P11, Alan Hong in P12, Alexander Diamond P13, Andrew Burrell P14, Philip DeRosier P15, Athena Leclerc P16, Hunter Hidesti P17. We are going to invite you into the booth for a recap of events to start that started the evening. An excellent race occurred, as we're also going to bring in Mr. R. Muhammad Alif for a mid-race interview. Let's see if we can bring him in here. And to move in into the broadcast booth. R. Muhammad Alif, do you have a copy?
Yep, I can hear you.
Excellent. An excellent first race from you, sir. Any thoughts on just the events of the beginning of the evening?
Yeah, I'm interviewing right now. Yeah, no, I sweated. Yeah. It was fun. I think battling with Kale that first few laps. And then after that, once I brought my tires up to temperature, I was just trying to aim for fast laps and pulled away, and we're really glad we got the 1, 2, 3.
Indeed. Now, Alif, a second question before you go. I just have to know I guess, what we would call the dynamic of the Ball State Formula C garage. Uh, the teammates, knowing that, at least in my humble opinion, they can't catch you. Are they okay with this? Are they going into the dungeon for more laps? Or what are they doing?
I'm pushing them as the team captain, obviously. But we are all free to race. I think that's something that I've made it clear ever since joining the team. If you're faster, you get to race, and you can attack and try to go for the move. So obviously I still have to coach them more, try to bring them up to the level that I am at. But yeah, we are progressing nicely. I mean, given Lucas, he's been in the program for 5 months, and then Bradley's up there in terms of pace as well. So sorry about the shouting in the background, but yeah, just seeing the progress made by the team, Academy and Kale as well, very promising. And hopefully that will be the target in the future, so for them to catch up, and for us to have like close battles up front, and give you guys a good show.
Quality. We've run out of time for another question, but good luck, sir, from P10 in race 2. We'll be watching for you.
Thank you.
And that was our Muhammad Alif. We are running out of time for warm-up, but Mr. Nordberg, thoughts as we enter into start of race 2?
I think race 2 is going to be the most fun we have all night here. We're going to see some of our drivers back further in the field than they're normally used to. Our Muhammad Alif being the primary candidate, with him being all the way back in 10th place. Expect to see him cut his way through the field, or maybe get caught up in one of these lap 1 incidents that could shake things up a bit.
I concur. As I stepped away to grab a beverage, I am back. We now see the cars lining up once again with anger and frustration. To the cars that are now in the lead, they want to win. We look alongside Adrian Tubakovic's car, that excellent St. Clair College paint scheme, warming up those front tires. You see, he's moving that axle around. Esteban Munoz in P2. He will be... We have revs. That means we have lights. We have starts. It's go from race 2 here at Michelin Raceway, Atlanta. Oh, clear in the first one. Esteban Munoz on the outside as he send it. They try to send it. Will he? 3 wide through 1. Doesn't work all the time. Munoz in the grass. Rolling in the grass. 5, 3, 4 wide. And into turn 3. That's Esteban Munoz. He's bottled it. He's spun it. He's dumped it. 2 wide out of 3. Munoz simply went way too wide in turn 1 and couldn't make it stick on cold tires. But we have Adrian Tubakovic. He is leading Clint Holterman to P2. He heads around turn 6 now. Cale Davidson already in P4 with R. Muhammad Alif in P6. He's got to find a way around Jake Cummings. That will be incredibly difficult, as Jake Cummings is more like a Ryan Newman out there in these cars. He is incredibly hard to pass. Clint Halterman right now. And we have a car diving inside. What a pass and Pete. They turned it. Oh, Cummings like, oh, this is contact. That was contact for the 2 cars. Alif could have some damage. Cummings doesn't look like he has any damage, but they're going to run down here to turn 1. They're looking hard and strong. Halterman's around! Halterman's around! No! Halterman! He had it clean and clear away. It won't work for him. No, Mr. Nordberg.
Now, an unfortunate mistake from Halterman as we get a replay here coming out of the Fox Factory Bridge. Just loops it, coming over the crest of the hill, and oh my goodness! Back onto the track for Clint Halterman after hitting the pit wall divider. A vicious wreck on lap 1 here in the second race of the evening.
An absolute travesty. That is what you call in this business heartbreak at its finest. Bill Davidson, he's side by side with Bradley Skinker here. He dives it down in the turn A, 10A, 10B. He takes P2. He is trying so desperately to stay ahead of Muhammad Ali. Here is Jake Cummings. He's in P7. He's fighting along with Aiken Lamar. Aiken Lamar takes too much curbing for my liking. Cummings side by side. Then he died on the inside one. He does. There's a little pass going on the inside there. That's the Rose and the Destiny. They're going to take side by side into 3. That's so hard. Look at him go. That's the Rosier with the win over Hidesti. What an incredible turn of events there in those corners where these cars simply do not go side by side. These cars with the talent, they have made it happen. We're going to ride now along with Adrian Tubakovic. The lead is decreasing for him. He's only 0.4 of a second ahead. We would like to let you know from our CIL historians and statisticians, Adrian Tubakovic is leading his first laps in CIL history tonight. He has led more laps in his career tonight than any other race before. It's over now. Caleb Davidson just took the lead in one false swoop of a move. Mr. High Mom himself. And Aiken Lamar's in the grass. He's cutting more grass than my lawnmower at home. He is now falling down to P10 with Andrew Burl in tow in P11. Look at that man go. Tubakovic is not done. The man wants it back. He is going to find the turn 3. He's got Muhammad Ali to the outside. The man's got a lot of talent in front and behind, but he is holding firm, very firm through turn 5, Mr. Nordberg.
A big wiggle out of there, out of Tubakovic. He's going to try to make a move here. I think Caleb Davidson's got to slow down. He's got to give up a position as Tubakovic. He gets passed by Muhammad Ali there going into turn 6. A big lockup from Tubakovic to take the lead back.
You will never see this ever again. Adrian Tubakovic actually passed Muhammad Ali for position on the track. We're now drafting. We may be going 3 wide. We're 3 wide into turn 10. Last of the late breakers. It's Bradley Skinker. He is taking the lead in turn 8, 10, 8, 10B. Here comes Adrian Tubakovic. He's back to the inside. He's sniffing his diffuser. He's loose. Here comes Alexander Dayton. Caleb Davidson wants some as well. He is now side by side for 4th. Heading into turn 1. Does he make it stick? There's contact. But he keeps it straight. He now has P4, Mr. Nordberg.
Absolute insanity on lap 4 out of all of our drivers there. It's a miracle that they were all on the track by the end of it. Still, we saw a couple of wiggles out of Adrian Tubakovic, but he went from 1st to 6th in 1 lap. As we got a battle for the lead here, 2 Ball State teammates coming down to turn 6.
Muhammad Ali, that one didn't even count. He just took it with ease. In the turn 6, he passed to the inside. Ryan Whitlock is kicking and screaming because he tried to turn it outside. He couldn't do it there, but Muhammad Ali taught him how to pass. Took it to the inside. He's now got Bradley Skinker behind. He is sniffing that diffuser. Skinker's got the overtake turned on. He wants to have a chance. Will he have a chance? The answer's no. But here we go through. That's Philip DeRosier in P5, the man who failed to even start in race 1. Caleb Davidson to pit road. Caleb Davidson to pit road. What has happened to his car? That will be a question for later because we don't know what happened. Jake Cummings in P7, Hunter Hidesti in P6, another man who didn't even make it past start finish in race 1. He is now showing up for Clemson at their home Grand Prix in race 2. He wants revenge. He wants it now. He's got to try to find a way around Adrian Tubakovic to get any more positions. Here is Alexander Diamond. He is in P3. This man has had a lot of bad luck and a lot of mistakes this season. Going from the Formula 4 to Super Formula has not been kind to him. But a P3 showing right now, that could be monumental on his way to saving his season. Not being championship contention, but saving it from what was looking to be an abysmal year.
Yeah, as we still have battled up and down the field from 3rd all the way back to 8th, really. Right now, Hunter Hidesti is currently trying to defend from Jake Cummings, who's in a bit of a sandwich right now. It looks like it's Adrian Tubakovic. Oh, excuse me, that's Athena Leclerc trying to make a move through turn 11 there. That's not a move you see very often in any type of sports or open wheel car. And a St. Clair College driver is going to get it done into turn 1. Looks he's coming out of the pit, though. I think that's Cale Davidson who's going to try to join this battle. He's going to be a lap down, I believe.
Yes, he will. Cale Davidson is a lap down. He is subject to blue flag rules. But Athena Leclerc, out of turn 11, does a move that you, for all practical purposes, you saved at the last lap. But she did it on lap 6. What a mad lad. We're looking at Alexander Diamond here. He wants more. P3 isn't just enough for him. He does not have the overtake turned on. He is charging it right now. But he has plenty of tow. He's starting to sniff that diffuser. He looks to the inside. Runs some late breakers. Does he get it done? They're side by side in the 10A. And Skinker gets... Oh, he got hit by Philip DeRosier. DeRosier has no more front wing. DeRosier has damage. He has to be seeing it. He has to be experiencing it. He lost his front wing. He has damage. That probably means that Diamond has some damage. A car has peeked to the inside. That's Leclerc over to McCulloch. Side by side in the one. Athena Leclerc. What a mad lad. My golly. What a position that she just took over. 2 incredible passes in 2 laps.
Yeah, it looks like Athena Leclerc is on a mission right now. Right now we see a battle, or I should say a pass from Hunter Hidesti on Philip DeRosier. It looks like Tubakovic is spinning. He's in contact. Who is that? I believe that's Jake Cummings.
That's Tubakovic. Tubakovic spins Jake Cummings. That will not go over well. Jake Cummings is a serial, I guess you could say, definitely confrontational in the CIL. He's going to definitely want to have some words with Tubakovic after this race. That was an interesting turn of events, but for Tubakovic, you have to feel for the man. We have gone from leading this race to no front nose cone in 9 laps. That is not the way you want to be racing right now.
Nah, when it rains, it pours, and you got to imagine that Tubakovic was thinking that he needed to start holding on to some positions, maybe got a bit too aggressive and made contact with the Wingate car of Jake Cummings. But Alexander Diamond, though, we saw him battling it out earlier with DeRosier. Now he's looking for that second spot.
Indeed he is. Indeed he is. Bradley Skinker. He's got to be in defense mode right now against Alexander Diamond. He knows that he has to be on some kind of... He had the overtake on, but somehow Alexander Diamond, glass and late breakers, Diamond gets it done this time. He gets it done. Now he has to defend. Bradley Skinker, they both use their overtake there, so now they have to charge. They both take a little bit more curving than I would like, but Skinker has the slipstream. Does he take it? Does he stick it? Yes, he does. Skinker back to P2.
Yeah, and there's a battle forming a little further back. It looks like there's a lap car of Cale Davidson in the way of the battle between Jason Wallet and Athena Leclerc. Leclerc has done excellent this race, battling her way up the field right now. I can't remember where she started, but I believe she was outside the top 10 maybe when this race started, and she's now up into the 5th position. So a fantastic job from the St. Clair College driver, but does Jason Wallet have anything to say about it? Does he want to get back up to his teammate here and maybe put on a show for us?
Indeed. It should be noted that I am getting some reports. It has been determined that Jake Cummings will receive a penalty for hitting Adrian Tubakovic. It is a 10-second penalty with strike, effectively ending his race. He's in the pit lane. I do believe that is a pit lane to retirement for Mr. Cummings. But a poor end to his Petit Grand Prix for Mr. Cummings. Also to note, back in race 1, Athena Leclerc got a strike and a 10-second penalty for her involvement against Hunter Hidesti on the front stretch that ended both cars' races in race 1. So to the viewers at home, if Athena Leclerc is found at fault of one more incident on this evening, she will in turn be disqualified from the entire event and have a one-race suspension coming her way. So she has to race incredibly clean here through these last 19 laps of the Grand Prix, because if not, she could be sitting on the beach, sipping something strong in the next race.
Yeah, we'll see. Jason Wall here has got a bit of a run down into the chicane. He's going to look inside. He's going to try to send it, but a bit tentative on the brakes from the Drexel University driver there. Athena Leclerc doing a good job defending so far. But let's go back and take a look at that Jake Cummings and Adrian Tubakovic incident. Bit early on here. Maybe get a different angle of this. Coming down into the corner. Might need a better angle.
If we could get a cockpit view of Tubakovic and what he saw. Mr. Cummings, you had a car to your inside. You gave him no room. I'm sorry. I don't like to pick sides, but to quote a very famous two-time Formula One world champion, all the time you have to leave a space. The space was not left, and therefore a proper penalty was carried out. But we sit alongside now with Jason Wallet. He is still on the chase of Athena Leclerc in P6. He definitely has moments in motion where there is moments that he can get to Athena Leclerc's back bumper and has shown the ability to, dare I say, attack Athena Leclerc, but has yet to do so. Probably holding in his moves, probably holding in his arsenal of attacks, ready for the end of this race, which is coming sooner rather than later, to make the attempt necessary to formally grab the position he wants, Mr. Neubert.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, still plenty of time left to go in this race. Oh, Athena Leclerc's gone a little bit wide on the exit of turn 7, but I don't believe that's going to cause Jason Wallet to get back up there to make it pass. But plenty of time to go in this race. We're only not even halfway through this race. We see Leclerc there is on the overtake button. We see that roll hoop flashing nice and quickly. So we know that Leclerc is trying to pull away here while she can. But is she going to use up all that overtake too soon? We don't see Jason Wallet using any at all. He might be trying to conserve some of that overtake for the last couple laps, as the gap up at the front between Skinker and Diamond has dropped a little bit. It was over a second earlier, but Diamond has been clawing back at that gap and is about to make an attack on the 16 car from Ball State.
Indeed, he is. The Great Wall of Ball has seen the left flank fall down to P9 and 10. It has gifted an opportunity for either Hunter Hidesti or Alexander Diamond to steal a podium position, something you don't see that often. But here is Alexander Diamond. He has overtake available. You can note his overtake is available by those 3 blue dots on the left of his steering wheel. He elects not to use it here, as he dives into turn 10A and 10B, and gets up and through the hill, through Fox Factory Bridge, into turn 11, not P11 if you will. That P11 right now is Jay Cummings. But here he comes through. He's hefty on that draft there, Mr. Nordberg. He's looking to possibly make a move here, I would assume, in the next lap or two.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck underneath that rear wing of Bradley Skinker for too long, because you're going to hurt your tires. That dirty air is going to cause you to have a little bit of understeer in some of these fast corners, especially through the first half of the track. But then it kind of works in reverse in the back half of the track, where you're going to have that draft take you all the way down the back stretch from turn 7 to turn 10A and 10B. As it looks like we might have a crash, actually. Alan Hong has gone around, I believe. Let's see if we can get a replay of that real quick. He pulled off the track there. Maybe he got a corner cut. Not sure. Yeah, that looks like what happened.
Indeed he did. I have been told, and I'm looking at the data, that Diamond used some overtake to get out of 10 and 10B. He's now outside. He dived it down to turn 11. He has the position. Here comes Bradley Skinker. Live drag racing. down the front stretch, and Skinker takes it again. They trade positions once again. Hefty racing, hefty involvement. What a move there from Skinker to take the position right back. If I am Alexander Diamond, when I make that move off of turn 11, I am guarding the inside. I have to do something. That's the second time in a row now that you have made the pass, but you lost it right at the next corner.
Yeah, I think obviously fixed setup, so the setup is not something that's helping Bradley Skinker off of turn 11. I think it's just something to do with the driving style and maybe the confidence under the braking into turn 1. I think maybe Diamond's a bit more hesitant into turn 1, but I don't think he's hesitant into turn 10 because he's really close here, but doesn't go for the move, and maybe he knows he can't make that move there anymore because he's just going to get re-overtaken by Skinker on the exit of turn 11 here. But this time Skinker still holds on to that P2, but the gap is under 0.2 of a second. Can he make a move into turn 1? He's going to look for it, but he's not quite there to make the move this time, Nick.
No, he is not. Diamond is a driver whose driving style typically revolves around being more calculated and calm. One who is willing to make a move when he knows for certain he has the speed to do it. So I respect the fact that he was able to hold there. He holds firm in that slipstream, not going to make the move here in a turn 6. He also does not make the move in a turn 7. He's going to rely on the fact he can get back on the power faster. He gets it down to first gear, right through the acceleration they go, through the gears. Already in the gear 6 past the Motul Bridge. Here they go down the back stretch. That looked like Skinker was already on some overtake. Diamond had it available, but he chooses not to use it. Through 10A and 10B they go. That is the lapped car of Cale Davidson, who's actually in P9 of all things. He has more pace in these two cars. He is just basically right now on a glory run. You see back there in P4, that's Hunter Adesti. He's waiting in the wings if something goes wrong amongst these two cars ahead of him. But that is just an excellent calculation there from Bradley Skinker. He used some overtake down the backstretch in order to try to gain a little bit of an advantage. You see that advantage did spur because it was 4/10. But if I am Cale Davidson right now, am I being ordered to do some team play? If he can get around Diamond, but not race Skinker, you would essentially there have a blocker. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. They run down the backstretch here. Diamond has a slipstream. Does he have the brakes? He goes to the inside. He looks back to the outside. They're going to drag race at 10B. Hunter Adesti is there through the Fox Factory Bridge. Block the inside, Diamond. I beg of you to block the inside. No, he gave it back to him again. There comes Bradley Skinker. Skinker takes it one more time. Alexander Diamond, I am begging with you, hands on knees. Block the inside off of turn 11. That is the third time, Mr. Nordberg.
Nah, I think Alexander Diamond's more worried about Hunter Adesti now more than he's worried about Skinker, because Skinker's kind of gotten off in the distance. He's pulled a bit of a gap here, and now Hunter Adesti is looking to get onto that last podium position as Cale Davidson still kind of in the background. He's not doing anything too crazy right now. He's probably just watching from the back, appreciating the fight in front of him from the best view in the house. But how much longer can Diamond make this move into turn 10 and keep making the same mistake over and over again and not defend it at turn 1? As Muhammad Alif is way off into the distance on his own right now. His teammate is in a fight for his life for second.
Indeed, indeed. You get a lot of luxury when you don't race for the lead, when you're just out there hot lapping and having fun. But if I'm concerned, this is the race for the win. Hunter Adesti gives the track position back to Cale Davidson, probably to get some slipstream, because Cale Davidson has a little bit more pace. That's probably a smarter move from Hunter Adesti. He wants to see what happens here. Diamond is now back to 0.6 back from Bradley Skinker. It is quite far for him. He's having to deal with the fact Cale Davidson is going to make the move and pass Alexander Diamond into turn 6. An interesting decision. This opens back up the opportunity for Hunter Hidesti. Hunter Hidesti has turned on the overtake. He has 70 seconds left with 10 laps of racing left to go. That is quite a small amount of overtake left in his car. He's diving straight on down turn A, 10A, and 10B. We're riding alongside Alexander Diamond. It looks like Cale Davidson is looking to make the pass on Skinker. Skinker is racing him hard. Skinker is probably telling him, buddy, block for me. I need you to stay behind. But Cale Davidson, on a glory run right now, is saying, no, sir, I want the fastest lap. Let me through. I don't think this is going to actually end well, and may actually have a little bit of tension and debrief, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, we heard a Leaf in between races talk about how his teammates are always free to race each other if the speed difference is there. But I don't think he was talking about when they're a lap down. So he's got to be careful here that, one, that Skinker doesn't go too slow and gets rear-ended by Davidson accidentally. As we see, overtake is active for Bradley Skinker right now down underneath the Motul Bridge. And we also see overtake active for Alexander Diamond behind them as well. So expect Diamond to maybe make an overtake and re-lap Cale Davidson here.
Indeed. If I am Cale Davidson, you've got blue flags galore. We haven't seen any note of blue flags for Mr. Davidson. We're running alongside Athena Leclerc here. She's in P5, defending the Titan of the Sport, Jason Wall, in P6. An excellent run for her so far, considering in race 1 she finished 16th. The fact that she's now going to at least hope to finish 5th is an excellent recovery drive. As we run through now, we're back up to that battle between 2nd through 4th, really. The gap is incredibly small as Davidson is now going to pass Bradley Skinker, and now Skinker is completely defenseless. He now has to defend personally over Diamond and Hidesti. They're in a train right now more than anything. Hidesti has now turned on overtake. He has less than 60 seconds left. He is not conserving it. Davidson uses overtake, hopefully to have, Skinker run behind on a slipstream and basically get some extra draft. But everybody's going to get some extra draft because they're all basically in a line with each other there, Nordberg.
Yeah, for sure. I wish we knew how much overtake Alexander Diamond still had on board, because I feel like out of all these cars in the top 4 here that we've been seeing fighting this entire race, I feel like we've seen him use overtake the least so far. So he might be saving that overtake for the final 3-4 laps to have an absolute insane advantage over his competitors here. Because the lap around Road Atlanta is about a minute and 5 seconds, give or take. And that's about 3, if you save enough overtake, you can go the final 3 laps with using the overtake button all the way till it hits empty, right? So expect the overtake button to be on. Oh, we see the overtake button on for Bradley Skinker here. So he's trying to defend right now as Diamond is making no moves yet from the Drexel driver.
Well, it is a note that Alexander Diamond does have overtake charged. Bradley Skinker has less than 90 seconds of overtake. So these cars have definitely used quite a bit of their charge, at least Skinker and Hidesti have. We have Alexander Diamond here in P3. We're wondering just how much he has left, because he definitely has his ready. He's just preparing for the right moment to do it. Now, I have a theory. Now, call me far-fetched if you will, but I would believe that if Diamond was to pass Skinker, then we would have Davidson pulled back and basically blue flag himself and get Diamond all out of shape for Skinker to make an attack again. Because you see that Skinker hasn't, Davidson really hasn't pulled away from Bradley Skinker. Alexander Diamond has just turned on his overtake. He has 102 seconds left on the battery. He is now running through the backstretch. He has realized that 0.6 of a second is simply too much. He needs to try to gain some time back. He turns it off strategically before the turn A 10B complex. He heads through the chicane. Up the hill they go, through Fox Factory Bridge, up through turn 11. He is charging his overtake back now because he just finished using it. And Athena Leclerc has lost out to Jason Wallet. The Titan of the Sport is now in the double-digit points. for a top 5 finish. Leclerc comes back to attack, but it won't be enough. Good show to Jason Wallet. That is a P5 pass there, sir.
Yeah, and it looks like, oh, Lucas Moody has some sort of front wing damage here in 7th place right now going back. Not sure what caused that. I think he's battling, that's Aiken Lamar right there, who also has front wing damage, so it's the battle of broken Super Formula cars right now.
Indeed it is. It is a strange sight indeed, considering the fact that Lucas Moody is holding off Aiken Lamar with no front wing. That is a very impressive feat, considering that front wing is so very crucial to the car's ability to cut through the air and generate front grip. As that replay still shows Lucas Moody without a front wing, as we may want to get back to the action at hand. Alexander Diamond is just 0.3 of a second now behind Bradley Skinker. We're going to ride along with him now, as he's now going to go through the corners into turn 3, downshifts into 3rd gear, past up turn 3 into turn 4, now down into the S's. The gap is 0.4 of a second. He is basically at that point where he is broken through the air wash. He now has toe. And when he has toe, these straightaways become like gold to Mr. Diamond. He has overtake charged. Will he use it on this backstretch? That will be a decision that he will not take, it looks like. He continues down the backstretch through gear 6 now. He's looking to just simply cut through. That's Cale Davidson. It looks like he is lapping Jake Cummings. Jake Cummings is going to give way to all positions. Good show there, lad. As 2 through 4 is within 1 second of each other. An excellent show of racing. As we continue on through in turn 1, we have Bradley Skinker still in the lead now through turn 3. 4 laps to go. He is ahead of Alexander Diamond, who has plenty of overtake available left in that car. Runs through the curbing. Only 5 to 6 tenths back now. He has to think about something. He's now way too far away to consider a move here in the next couple corners. Hunter Hidesti is now right behind him. Does he have no? Alexander Diamond and Hunter Hidesti both turn on overtake. 930 horsepower is able to both of these engines. It's Honda versus Toyota. Who has the opportunity? They're both slipping and streaming through. Hunter Hidesti. Does he have the inside? He looks. He sold him a dummy. No, he didn't. He sold him a dummy, but he holds firm and holds true. Hunter Hidesti gets a great launch on 10A and 10B. Will he look to the inside? I think he might. He comes to turn 11. He's going to swing through. Will he look to the inside? Look to the inside, lad. I dare you to. He does. He doesn't. He sold him a dummy again, but it does not matter. Alexander Diamond holds firm in a mind of steel. He saw all the mind games being played. They have both used a lot of overtake. This means they will not have overtake for the backstretch here from 3 to go. The next opportunity to use it will be 2 to go, Mr. Nordberg.
Yeah, once they get to 2 to go, they might have to put that button on and keep it on for the rest of the race, depending on how much overtake they have saved. You really see Diamond use a lot of curb there, try to get to that rear wing of Bradley Skinker. Skinker's done a fantastic job of defending and attacking when needed to this race, so we'll see if he can hold on for these final couple miles here at Michelin Raceway at Road Atlanta. But right now it's Hunter Hidesti who's on the attack. A great exit out of turn 7. He's going to try to move into turn 10A. Is he going to be late on the brakes? Not this time.
Not this time, indeed. We're going to get to 2 to go here. They have run through that straightaway. They've been charging their overtake. It is estimated that their overtake will be ready on around the S's section of this lap. Hunter Hidesti is basically sniffing the air that comes out of the diffuser of Alexander Diamond. He is sniffing like a hound dog. He is ready for the pass. He has to set it up, however. Take a little bit of time here. Get a little bit of that gap. Try to find a way through 5. You set up your pass in 10 through here. This is how the pros do it. They run through 5 into turn 6 through the short chute. This is the most critical moment of this lap. Who gets the better launch out of 7? Diamond does not turn on the overtake. He has it charged. He's ready to use it on the last lap. Hidesti is using it. Hidesti is using his overtake, but they're weaving. They're weaving through. Hunter has to keep it on. They're going to head into the final lap. Leafs won. We're not walking him home. We're walking you through this race instead. Here comes Hunter Hidesti. He's out of 10B. Will he have it? He's kept it on. He's kept the overtake on. He has to find a way around him. He's using all of it. He's used all of it. He looks to the inside. He keeps it to the inside. He's going to use all of it till he has none left. But they're going to do everything they can through turns 3, down to turn 4, through the S's. Hunter Hidesti is officially out of overtake. He has none left. That car is stranded. Here comes Alexander Diamond. He has it turned on. He has overtake on till the end of the race, but so does Bradley Skinker. They're going to go into turn 6, 7 here. Turn 7. Hunter Hidesti's on his diffuser. Hunter Hidesti's now going to be using the slipstream, but here comes Alexander Diamond. He's using the overtake to get that spur ahead. Bradley Skinker versus Alexander Diamond. Who gets ahead? Side by side. Diamond turn A, 10 A, 10B. Diamond dives. Does Diamond stick it? Diamond sticks it. He's at P2.
Contact!
Dusty. He hit Bradley Skinker. He tried everything he had, and he bent it fail. Dusty, no. Diamond takes P2. Bradley Skinker with P3. Wallet almost took P4. Skinker doesn't have a rear wing. Athena Leclerc in P5. Hunter Hidesti to 6. But Hunter Hidesti is probably looking at a penalty, but it doesn't matter. He's the last car on the lead lap. But what a man and a moment. My God, what a last lap turn of events. By the way, I'm going to leave one.
Wow. Oh, man. What a finish to that race. We're going to have to get a replay of that here.
I need a new voice.
Here we go, coming down to the final chicane for the one last time in this race, 10A and 10B. Diamond has a great move to the inside here on Skinker, and Hidesti thinks he has a gap here in 10B, but he just sends it way too deep, absolutely clobbers the Ball State car of Bradley Skinker, and Diamond rolls off in the distance. Skinker does a fantastic job with no rear engine cover to get through the final corner to secure the last podium position, but man, Jason Wallet barely misses out on a podium there. Athena Leclerc, in the end, does come home in 5th after holding on to that spot for most of this race while defending from Jason Wallet. And Hunter Hidesti comes home in 6th after an attempt to make the podium comes off not exactly how he expected in turn 10B.
Yes, as I have gone through the onboard of Hunter Hidesti, and to my friend, I ask of you, I understand the pressure is on to finish with a podium position, but the space was not there. He lunged at what seemed to be track that did not exist. Skinker cut him off. Skinker is extremely lucky to have been able to finish the race. Jason Wallet was only 0.3 of a second behind. But a very intense race. Let's go through some history here. Our Muhammad Leaf has obviously won again, but Alexander Diamond has his best career finish in P2. Jason Wallet for FC has his best career finish in P4. I believe, if I'm looking through here, Aiken Lamar tied his best career finish in FC with a P8 finish. Just a lot of good racing, a lot of good results. We're going to run through our finishing order before we get to the first interviews of the evening. But as we run through Ball State University, the state of Ball, our Muhammad Alif has won. And then Alexander Diamond at Drexel University in P2 with Bradley Skinker at a Ball State University in P3. Jason Wallet at Drexel University in P4 with Athena Leclerc at a St. Clair College in P5. Hunter Hidesti at Clemson University, the car that was in 4th for so long, finishes in 6th. Lucas Moody at a Ball State University finishes in P7 with Lucas Moody, Aiken Lamar at Howard Community College in P8. Cale Davidson at Ball State University finishing in P9 with Jake Cummings finishing in P10 for Wingate. The non-point scoring positions are as follows. Alan Hong in P11, Philippe DeRosier in P12, Adrian Tubakovic in P13, with Esteban Munoz in P14, Andrew Burrell in P15, with Mark Turek in P16, and Clint Halterman in P17. That is the running order. A very, very interesting running order. That was the finish. We are now going to turn to the moment that everybody's been waiting for this evening. It's time for some interviews to be given. The first interview of the evening will be P3 finisher Bradley Skinker.
Yeah.
Mr. Skinker, welcome to the interview room. I believe in my years of casting races, I have yet to be granted the pleasure of having a conversation with you. So I first ask you this evening, sir, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, buddy. I just watched an absolute masterclass of racing go on between second and fourth there for about 13 to 14 laps. My only one of my few questions for you this evening really is, we have seen your development throughout Formula C. Now, being part of the wall of ball is giving you, great finishes here through the development from Arm Muhammad Ali. This P3, was it the maximum of the evening?
Was it the no? I almost had P2. I thought I was gonna get him on the exit. I thought I was gonna pull the switch back there. Thought I was gonna get him on the exit, and then I got tapped by I think it was Hunter Haydesy in the back, and unfortunately, still finished third, but I almost had second.
Indeed, indeed. And I have to know because I had my questions. Was there some team orders going on with Kale being around there? Was he going to be potentially used as a blocker? Or was Kale just riding around to ride around?
So he was just trying to get back up into the points there. We were communicating, trying to figure out when I wanted to let him pass and whatever. So yeah, we weren't really using him as a blocker or anything. We were just trying to get him past because he was still on the points there. I believe he still got ninth. So yeah, that was the plan there.
Interesting, interesting. That is just fine by us. Pure racing at heart. So, Mr. Skinker, before I let you go for the evening, is there anyone you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, everyone here at Ball State, my teammates Lucas, Kale, and Alif, and our oval team, and then my family and friends back home.
10-4, 10-4. Well, Mr. Skinker, it has been a very interesting evening. It's been great and a pleasure to call you home in P3. And as always, keep racing, my friend.
Thank you. Have a good one.
We will now look towards our second place finisher and alumni winner, Mr. Alexander Diamond. We'll pull him in here now. Mr. Alexander Diamond, the man who wears many hats. He is the Oval Steward. He has raced 4 seasons for the Black and Blue and Gold of Drexel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my historian stats are telling me the first time I'm getting to call you in for a podium interview, Mr. Diamond, P2. How does it feel?
That was absolutely incredible. I came out of the last corner, and in my mind, all I could think about was the Ford versus Ferrari scene where he was saying, "Holy shit, I did it." That's all I was feeling coming across the line there. Just how did this happen? That was absolutely incredible.
Indeed, indeed. Now, we're looking through the record here. 13th to 2nd.
Yeah.
That took a lot of skill. Talk me through your race. Just how did you find yourself in this position?
Well, coming off the start of the race, I found that I usually have one of the better starts. Going through the past few FC races, I realized I'll gain 2 to 3 spots off the start just from the dual clutch paddles. Just I get a good launch out of that. I think a few people had to slow down up ahead, and it kind of confused others. That gave me the opportunity to kind of weave in and out of traffic a little bit. And then just the whole battle with Bradley, that was absolutely incredible. I told him coming to the final lap, I think I had about 70 to 80 seconds of overtake left. The slipstream was so incredibly strong. No matter what, if he used it coming down the back straight, I wouldn't use it and I'd stay with him all the way down to 10A and 10B. And that was just absolutely incredible.
Indeed, indeed. I do have one more question, and it could be more of an essay, if you will, a little bit more long, heartfelt. I have watched you race and steward and do a lot of things for this league for several seasons now. You have been a very critical volunteer and a very critical member of this league, providing excellent racing through and through. Is tonight validation?
Absolutely. This is the culmination of all hard work that I've tried to put in. I've noticed in races, my main enemy is myself. In race one, I got a little bit of too much throttle coming out of the last corner onto the main straight and put it into the wall and had too much damage to bring it back out. But on the day that Drexel University finally puts a steering wheel in our esports room, we come home for a 2-4 finish, an alumni win, podium, and everything. This is everything. This just means that Drexel's moving forward in the world of esports, and however much further we can push ahead is fantastic for me, for the university, for everyone involved in the esports organization.
Indeed, indeed. Is there anyone you would like to shout out before we let you go?
I mean, thanks my parents, helping me through if there was any computer issues. Thank you to Drexel for giving me a great education, and allowing me to race for you. Shout out to my work, Lockheed Martin, for not totally deteriorating me after a long day's work. Shout out to my teammate, Jason Wallet, coming home in P4, really just securing more points for Drexel. This is a lot of hard work, and it's finally starting to show up.
All right, all right. Well, sir, it has been a pleasure to welcome you into the booth this evening. We hope that this is not the only time we welcome you in the booth in any evening. But as always, keep racing, my friend.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
And lastly, we will bring in the Singaporean slinger, a man who has swept the evening.
Hello.
It is Mr. Alif. Alif, we had a conversation with you about winning the first race. And I dare I say, race 2 happened just about in the same manner for you.
Pretty much. It was fun. I think the opening laps, trying to manage the traffic, and then my teammates are all in the couch behind me. So yeah, fun race. And yeah, I think I put out like a personal target to like get into the twos. At the end of the race with the fastest lap, so I'm glad I got that. And yeah, another double Ball State podium in race 2.
Indeed, indeed. I guess I like to ask you this question when we see you go from 10th to first. How difficult was it to take the lead back?
I think this for some reason we always had a good advantage when it comes to starts. I think our team has figured out like the optimum way to start the car, which is good. I think from then on it was just biding our time. Like I don't know if you saw that I think it was lap 1 or lap 2 with like Bradley on the inside. We were going 3 wide. And I was like, you know what, let's not risk it. Also, yeah, risk management was part of it. But yeah, just it was. I mean, it was a challenge, of course, but I had 30 laps, so I think it was gonna happen like one way or another. So yeah, just happy to have another clean sweep of a weekend.
Indeed, indeed. Well, Mr. Leaf, before we let you go this evening, is there anyone that we would like to have you shout out?
Yeah, Kale, Bradley, and Lucas, teammates behind me, as well as all our oval drivers, for all their hard work. As we try to fight to get 3 or 4 of us into the playoffs. Dan Marino, BK, and Dean Turner for all their support. I think heading this program. All my sponsors, Motorsport Singapore, Next Level Racing, Sports Singapore as well for all their support, and Ball State Esports just for the overall support, and my family back in Singapore.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Leaf, it has been a pleasure to welcome you back into the booth, as it is every week. And as always, keep racing, my friend.
Thank you. See you guys.
Well, the time has come in the grand scheme of things for me to give my end of the race monologue, if you will. An event occurred here in the Hall County of the state of Georgia, in a town called Braselton, where the greatest race, or the greatest racetrack in North America, quite possibly the world, occurred once again. We saw 2 great races. The winner expected, but podium finishers not. In race 2, it was an avenue of excellence, an avenue of intense speed and intense thrill. 2nd through 4th fighting for 30 laps until we finally got to the last little bit. Heartbreak for 1, triumph for 2. And of course, our winner, Mr. R. Muhammad Alif. An excellent evening from the Petit Grand Prix as we look towards tomorrow in the CPC, or Collegiate Prototype Challenge. The race is at Zandvoort. We hope you can tune in to join us there. And to our NASCAR fandom, the cutoff race, the race to determine the playoffs, from Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum, rises next Monday. From myself and my guest analyst here, Mr. Matthew Nordberg, we thank you this evening for tuning in, for enjoying, for laughing, and for cheering and crying, if you're a fan of Hunter Adesti, in the result of this race. We thank you so very much for tuning in, for watching along, and as always, keep racing, my friends. See you around.